Hi guys, my name is Kudo. I'm the host of the PlayStation Point. Unfortunately, Armando could not join us again today, probably part of a continued punishment for 2 weeks ago, or more like a month ago in that sort of case, but that's fine. So Tyler's still with us though. So
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder why I'm still here.
So once again, Sony did fuck all this week, or 2 weeks really, as Pokemon Go continued to dominate the internet. So that could probably be because Sony has a lot to do this fall, mainly PlayStation VR.
Yep. PlayStation VR, they have plenty of games coming out within the next 3 months as well. They are not only are we finding out more information about the new Destiny expansion, Rise of Iron, but now we are starting to learn more about Call of Duty Infinite Warfare um, and Fallout 4 modding coming to PS4 very soon, which has been a long-awaited thing for Fallout 4 fans. And next week, No Man's Sky. So,
So they're just kind of like pissy.
we missed the news reveals by like a week. No problem.
Well, I mean, like we're not sure if we're gonna make this a weekly podcast, so we're making it bi-weekly to fit what we've been doing since June. We've been doing this since like May, June.
And before we start getting complaints in the comments, that means once every 2 weeks, not twice a week.
So
No way in hell we could do a twice a week podcast.
no, unless we were just talking about like a game specifically.
Yeah.
Which we might do this fall, depending on what it is.
Yeah. PlayStation Point has fuck all to do this time, but the Nintendo podcast is gonna have a fucking field day.
Oh yes, with Pokemon Go.
Yeah, Pokemon Go, the new Pokemon Alola forms that got revealed. Discuss of the new C forms. Monster Hunter Generations DLC coming out this month. So they got plenty of shit to talk about, and we're just like, come back next week.
Alright, you come back in 2 weeks. We'll see if we have something.
Yeah.
But what we do have this week, starting off, is Life is Strange is actually getting a live-action film, which seems really cool. But I'm kind of like, this could go really well or really bad.
I have a feeling it's going to go better than the game did. I think that kind of story would be better approached in a live action sense.
It could be, but I feel like with what Hollywood does a lot is they're going to fuck shit up as usual.
Yeah.
So I don't really have high expectations for this.
At the same time, Life is Strange was one of those illusion of choice games where the choice you have is superfluous regardless. So the approach of having only one decision to be made throughout the course of a movie would probably benefit the escalation of plot.
It would, but also like you have to understand that like Life is Strange is a really long game, even for episodic terms. So what they're gonna cut out is going to be interesting because there's going to be certain points that players are going to know that is essential to the plot and the characters, and if they cut that out, people are going to be pissed off.
That movie is going to be a 0 out of 10 if they don't bring in the beans.
Oh, you know what's going to really piss people off? If they don't do the kissing choice.
Oh, yeah. I have a feeling.
That will piss off so many LGBT players.
Yeah.
Because, the game does give you a choice between, I guess, going with Horn and going with Chloe. And a lot of players, even though they don't really say it out loud, they're lesbians.
Yeah.
Even though, Chloe's voice actor thinks she's gender fluid, which is awesome. But I feel like if they don't include that one scene that kind of alludes to them, being an LGBT couple, I think that'll piss a lot of people off because LGBT doesn't really get a lot of representation in the media or Hollywood, and if it does, it always ends up in a tragedy. And I can see why people be pissed off by that. Why can't we have a happy ending for once?
Yeah. I had that same thought when I was thinking about how they would handle the Last of Us movie. because in the Left Behind DLC, there's the Ellie scene where she kisses the other character. And it's one of those kind of awkward scenes where she just did it because she wanted to, I guess. Like she got her feelings mixed up. But it's one of those things where you start thinking about what they would focus on or what they wouldn't focus on if they made a movie adaptation of a video game. And it's kind of interesting to think about, especially if you start considering other game options. Like we've seen what Ratchet and Clank did for a movie adaptation from a game that became a game adaptation of a movie adaptation of a game.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, it certainly stayed true to what Ratchet and Clank was about, like very silly, slapstick style, punchline humor. So, I mean, all the more to it.
I mean, this like story is a big thing about Life is Strange. So I mean, if they don't properly take out what is important, what is not important, it's really going to fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really want to see this movie be crap. I really don't. Like,
Yeah, I don't.
Like, but because this is one of the days where it's like it could be really great, but all it takes is one person.
Yeah. By the way, see Suicide Squad this Thursday.
Oh no, Twitter is burning. Burning, I tell you. Oh, because the reviews are apparently bad.
This is fine.
This is totally fine.
Yeah. No, I had that thought earlier when Sony for a while has been deciding what games to make into movies, and like they thought of God of War at one point, I believe, right?
Maybe? I'm not
I think
sure.
I've heard about a God of War movie being made at one point. Or at least being in the works. I'm really curious about how the Assassin's Creed movie is going to pan out now that I think about it. I haven't heard much about it since the Ubisoft conference, but at the same time, I'm kind of curious as to how they take it. They're going to focus more on the Templars side of the plot, or if they're going to focus primarily on dude kill people.
I feel like it's the latter because it's Hollywood and violence is so acceptable in Hollywood, but not anything else.
Violence is acceptable, but I'm all for choreography, like perfectly choreographed violence. That's what made John Wick an interesting movie to me, is because the choreography and acting for the protagonist was pretty spot on.
I mean, like, they could do really well, but because they haven't really made any distinction of what they want to do with the movie, it's up in the air and it's anyone's game at that point.
Yeah. Like, I have a feeling that the director is going to look at Life is Strange and be like, okay, let's play this through like 5 or 6 times, and he'll eventually figure out the nuances of how they handled story progression and try to tackle that first.
Honestly, I don't feel like that's gonna happen because, like, with scripts, you have to like edit what essentially the original story is down. But I feel like those scriptwriters don't even read the original work. They don't even think about it. They just kind of look at a summary and then write what they want. And I'm kind of like, no, go read the fucking actual work and then go at it with a scalpel.
It depends on who's directing it, honestly. It goes down to the directors and the script writers, I'd say. The director decides what shots to make from the original script, and then a producer would decide what stays and what goes. So, I mean, it's all a matter of those 3 subsets of people, like what they want out of the project, and if they want to stay true to form, or if they're going to try to do their own spin on the plot.
I just think I don't want it to be into people who just want it to make money instead of people who actually like know what it is and actually craft it to be something that isn't, a piece of garbage.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Is it depends on because I consider Life is Strange to be like a cult success. Like, it really garnered popularity because of a medium-sized community, and then it just branched out to a larger community after the game released, like well after the game had finished its episodic structure.
I mean, it's mainly because of the themes in Life is Strange, where they do connect to a lot of people,
Yeah,
and a lot of people can identify with that, and that's great.
the themes I saw whenever I played it was just growing up. It was that was like the big thing I noticed, like growing up and knowing the people you make friends with. But everybody else sees a different theme whenever they play a game. That's kind of the beautiful thing about games is that you can take something away from it and it'll always be different from someone else's viewpoint.
Well, I mean, that's if they do it properly.
Yeah.
Not everybody does a good game.
The ending still confused the shit out of me, so
Oh god, that uh, I have a problem with how they did the endings because
yeah.
the
I
effort
think,
the
I think
effort was like lopsided, and I was like, okay, no, don't
I,
don't do
I,
that.
I think everyone was just like that. Like I have a feeling that a lot of people played through to the point where they thought their actions mattered, and then the game was just like, all right, your actions mattered up to this point, but now it's time to go our way, and then you can decide the last thing. It's like, all right,
Like it was definitely a much more guided
yeah,
journey, but the whole suicide did make a big difference in terms of how characters interacted, and that was actually important.
yeah. And the thing is like stuff like that is kind of important. It's because looking at games like this, the narrative, interactive story like we've seen with Life is Strange and the Telltale games in particular, are proof that the illusion of choice is always there, but the fact that we can still make decisions that affect what we learn from our first playthrough is the most important thing. So that when we go to subsequent playthroughs, things tick when we decide different options. So we get different realizations, we see different perspectives. That's kind of the important thing. And when you look at a movie version of something like that, where you are supposed to do it subsequent times in order to get different viewpoints, it's kind of difficult to do that because I think the only movie to have ever done multiple endings like that is Clue.
Run Lola Run is actually a much more
Run Lola
comparable,
Run? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I get it.
because I've actually watched that, and that's much more comparable.
Oh yeah, when you see like different perspectives on subsequent viewings.
Yeah, where she's just like
Yeah.
there's different times where she's running, but she finds out different things.
Yeah, yeah. I get you. It's kind of like watching Memento as well. When you think about it. Seeing the entire movie's plot play through in reverse, you start seeing the ticks come by after watching it over and over again. Like you see the movie from beginning to end, and then you watch it again, and suddenly different events make more sense because you know what happens.
Or it can be like Inception, where every time like you watch it, you get more and more confused.
Yeah. Or
So,
it can be like watching the new Ice Age movie where nothing makes sense, and then you watch it again. It's like, nope, still doesn't make sense.
but yet someone funded it.
Yeah. Please start making other movies. You made the Peanuts movie. That was really good. Do that more.
Well,
On Blue Sky
I'm,
Studios. You can do more than Ice Age. Let John Leguizamo and Ray Romano go off and do their own things besides Ice Age, please.
well, maybe they should do a Kickstarter for that. Kind of like Ukulele, who now the backers have gotten their demo, and I've seen video footage of it, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm so glad that the toy box is finally out. I watch a streamer called Peking Boo, and his entire shtick is that he plays through games on a DDR pad. Like
Oh, that kind. Okay, I know what
yeah,
you're talking about.
and he actually has like an arcade cabinet in his house, like an actual DDR arcade cabinet with like the steel and plexiglass panels and
Oh
everything.
shit!
And he was playing through ukulele on that, like
Oh
with
my god!
one being the controls and one being the like the jump and the attack and everything.
Oh my
Dude's
gosh.
amazing. Dude's amazing. He played through Mario 64, Splatoon. He did at one point.
I feel like his legs must be like super buff to do
Y-
that.
Yeah, you'd think, but dude's lanky. and I mean, he's actually like a really cool dude. Um, he did Super Mario Sunshine at one point as well, which was very interesting to watch.
How the fuck do you do that?
Yeah, it got even weirder when he started doing Super Mario Maker custom levels. I'm like,
What?
uh, please don't do Pit of Panga.
Do you mean Patapon?
No, Pit of Panga, the custom Super Mario Maker level that is like one of the hardest ever made.
I don't have Super Mario Maker, so it's.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's one of those levels that you see in SGDQ or AGDQ being played in the custom level showcase. But dude's a pretty good player of games with unorthodox control schemes. Um, I need to check his repertoire of games he's beaten on a DDR pad. I'm actually gonna look up right now. Yeah, the ukulele toy box. It only makes me more excited of the product that we're gonna get at the end of at the start of 2017. I mean,
So I mean, did you actually back it?
yeah, I backed it. I didn't back it enough to get the toy box, but I got it. Let me try that again. I I backed it enough to get the game when it releases, but I didn't back it for anything else. I really wanted the physical version.
So like less than $20?
I have 15 pounds, I think, which is like $24.
Okay. Okay. One article was actually wrong. It said $20, but it probably meant 20 pounds.
Yeah, it's 20 pounds, I believe, because it converts to your local currency. And they actually do have like proper currencies in there. Like they have euro in there as well.
Yeah,
Let me check.
because
Backed projects. Mighty Number 9 is going to be in there to haunt my dreams forever. Yeah, $24, 21 euro, 15 pounds.
Yeah, so you didn't have enough for it. Okay.
Yeah, I just got the digital console version.
That's not bad. I was just wondering because
Yeah.
like I never played Banjo Kazooie as a kid, so when I heard about ukulele, it was like, that's okay. And then like I started seeing like actual footage of it, like of gameplay, and I was like, this looks awesome. Like I
Yeah,
actually want to play this.
it's 32 US dollars, 20 pounds or 28 euro for the Steam or console digital game plus the PC toy box. The one I wanted to get was oh, I apparently didn't want the right one. It was a little expensive though. It was $110 to get the physical version, but $87 to get one that's a T-shirt, a digital deluxe, which came with the digital game, a soundtrack, a manual, and art book. The art book was the big thing why I wanted to get it, honestly. Or was it 55? No, it was 47. That's it. Yeah, $47, and I would have gotten an art book, but whatever. But yeah, I am super excited for ukulele.
Actually, like I feel like what I should do is I actually should stream playing Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie.
You have the rare replay, right?
No,
No. Do you not have an Xbox One?
fuck no.
Oh, that's a shame.
No,
I have the rare replay, so I have the entire rare library up to this point. Honestly,
I think if I had upgraded to Windows 10 about what, 4 days ago on Friday when I got back from orientation, then I guess I could have played it or played on my computer.
yeah, um, yeah. The one thing I upgraded my laptop to Windows 10. I didn't want to do it on my desktop because my desktop can barely work on Windows 7, anyways. It's pretty old. It's like 6 years old, so give it some slack. But I upgraded my laptop to Windows 10, and I just stream Xbox One games on there now, PS4 games as well because of the remote play system, which is still the worst. Sony, you really need to make that better, please. Improve
Yeah,
the netcode.
I was trying to play this guy 5 on PS Vita, and it was fucking up.
Yeah, there's something real wrong with it. Like I even connected, like I said before, I connected my PS4 to my PC before with an Ethernet cable to like do a LAN connection to see if it would improve anything, and it did nothing. It did nothing to improve it. It's really weird.
That
The
is
Xbox
weird.
One is like Xbox One and Steam are probably the best streaming services I've used for games. Because as long as you have it installed on your computer, then it'll play it on your computer. And as long as the game runs well on your computer, then it'll stream well on your other PC. So it's a really nice benefit. And that just kind of pans out really well for Xbox One because all it does is do a screen share instead of actually loading the game on your PC. So the frame rate is solid. PS4, though, uh,
Its remote play is kind of neglected.
yeah, I think they need to update it a little bit.
They do.
Because honestly, the PS4 would be something I'd play all the time. I would play Destiny on my computer all the time if it worked. Please, Sony, could you please fix it? Thank you. I have a PS TV for a reason. I wanted to play games without bringing my PS4 from room to room. Don't make me do that, please. It keeps ejecting the disc whenever I'm playing the games. Please don't do it. No, it's really weird. Sometimes I'm just sitting at my computer doing stuff, and all of a sudden I hear beep beep, and I look around and there's a disc hanging out of my console. I'm like, what the fuck? What? Is there dust on the eject button?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, I know I can pretty much control my PS Vita from my PS4 from my PS Vita, but it lags.
Yeah.
So, like, I see the home theme or whatever when I start up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay. But in order to do that, your PS4 needs to be on rest mode. It can't be completely off, which is what I usually do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, that's not really helping my laziness. I still have to get up and like turn on the PS4.
Yeah. All right. The games that Peking Boo has beaten and played, I should say played, because he actually specifies what he's beaten. He's played Sonic Adventure DX, VVVVVV, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Star Fox Zero, Kirby Air Ride, Super Meat Boy, Shovel Knight, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 64, Mega Man 2, Donkey Kong Game Boy, Super Mario Brothers 3, Splatoon, Undertale, Super Mario Sunshine. He's played all those games on just a DDR pad.
I'd like to know what made him thought that was like a great idea.
I'd like to know how he did it. Because, like, it's especially impressive for a Wii U game. Like, how do you transfer input data from your DDR pad to your gamepad?
You mod it.
To allow it, like, that's insane.
Yeah, you just mod it. Like,
he must have done it by hand because I can't think of a way that it would be able to transfer specific input data from an arcade cabinet like that and be able to output the video data to a monitor. That makes sense, but
he might have a really weird setup that he probably either worked on with someone or he figured out himself. He's just that smart.
Yeah.
I don't know how he knew how to do that, but maybe he couldn't find a way for his degree to be of use. So he's like, fuck it.
I wish he had a how-to on it because
I don't think he would want to, because what I've noticed from a lot of LPers is that they don't want to talk about their setup because it might be hard to explain. Like I've tried to ask someone about like how do they get the screen from like say like a DS, or how do you record 4 Game Boys for 4 Sorts Adventures and get all of their input? And like anytime I've tried to ask this, no one says it because they're like, oh, it's too complicated to explain. I was like, I built a computer. You can fucking explain it to me.
Yeah, it's normal to me because I know exactly how some of those setups are done from like a technical side. I know how it's all done, but I can't for the life of me figure out how he does DDR games, like how he plays games on a DDR pad.
But it also could be trying to do it is like very janky in the sense of that, like if you fuck up, it's gonna be expensive to try again.
Yeah. And I can understand, like, I can guess that some of the GameCube games he's run, even some of the Wii games he's run, were done on Dolphin. I can estimate that probably, even though they look legitimate.
That's probably true. He probably did a lot of them on Dolphin, but he's not allowed to say that because copyright.
Yeah. But
So
at the same time, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he's using like legit hardware and everything to make it run as it does. Like I can
he has
estimate
to.
how he does it, but at the same time, I really have to wonder how he does it. Like he's beaten games with very restricted controls. He literally plays through games with his feet. Like that is mind-boggling to me. Especially games like he's done I want to be the guy fan games before on a DDR pad. I'm just like, why? I hate playing that with a controller. You would want to smash your feet into your panels if you raged hard enough.
I mean, like, he probably does practice runs, then he's like, okay, this tolerable for streaming, and then goes to stream.
Yeah. He seems very practiced, I've noticed. I want to see him play Shantae, honestly. That would be interesting. Imagine having to do dance inputs in order to like transform into things, especially with the original Shantae on Game Boy. You'd have to do dance inputs, like down, up, left, and stuff to do transformations.
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. Either way, dude's really cool, and he did play through the ukulele sandbox or the toy box rather on stream with the DDR pad, which got retweeted by Platonic Games because they love stupid shit.
Like at this point, like it's pretty much like a PR sort of thing where it's like they know this person gets a lot of views, free advertising.
Yeah. The same thing goes. Anytime I'm on Twitter, there's always a retweet from the Rainbow Six Twitter about somebody streaming Rainbow Six because they know if there's a streamer out there that gets a few viewers that might be interested in playing the game, then whatever. It's possible that it'll guarantee a purchase. I'm hoping that I garner enough popularity to do that at some point, but high hopes.
Well, I mean, like that's the thing is like YouTubers are really good for a lot of things. Not everything though. There's a downside to being a YouTuber or having people LP your work.
Yeah, I
But
understand that feeling.
but we can leave that discussion for maybe a more dedicated podcast.
It's really weird how I stream like daily now. I stream daily on my own personal Twitch page because I'm practicing for a secret project that I'll announce at the end of this podcast because next week is when it's going to happen. But it's really interesting to me that I've finally gotten to the point where when I'm playing a game and I hear music, I can determine just by the quality of it that it's licensed music. So I like listen to it and it's just like, yeah, this is copywritten. I know for a fact this is copywritten. This is going to get a content ID match on YouTube. This is a problem. And sure enough, I upload the VOD to YouTube and it's like, this part has been content ID'd, so you won't be able to monetize them. I was like, well, I expected this.
I think that's why some YouTubers have started a Patreon at this point.
Yeah.
And I
That's
don't.
why we started a Patreon, because we know that this happens a lot.
Well, I mean, like if like Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft, unless these big companies were okay with this and said, okay, you can make a living off this, you're going to make a fuck ton of money, there's no doubt about that, then it would be fine. But these companies want to bind everything, and Nintendo's especially on this for any YouTube content. And they're not friendly about it as much as they say they want to be.
The interesting thing about this is that I've seen third-party developers, especially, like I'm specifying Ubisoft here. I've seen Ubisoft do YouTuber campaigns before of their games, and then those games get copyright ID, or content ID rather, for having licensed music in it. Like if you're going to have people go to your studio to play your game to advertise it, you should at the very least consider them when you develop a game, so that you don't use licensed music and that you don't use audiovisual content ID, because that's going to completely negate what you were trying to do in the first place, which is garner interest through people playing your game on YouTube.
Yes, but they don't want to pay them. That's the thing about corporate companies. They don't want to pay the little people who help make their business great. And like, there's very few YouTubers who can make money with Nintendo stuff. Like that's a big deal, and that's really sad because a lot of us love Nintendo. We all grew up on Nintendo. No one can doubt that.
Yeah.
But, Nintendo does this, and their program for YouTubers isn't much better because it was already overloaded.
Yeah.
And so it's like you aren't supporting creative content, you're just taking it down because it's not made by you. If you can't make this creative content, you need to hire people and a better marketing department.
The thing is, the thing that you brought up as well is that they don't even pay them. YouTubers, in a way, kind of pay themselves by having the content on YouTube, and what those creators get instead are the creators of the games that they're making content from asking for a unbelievably large chunk of the revenue that they're getting from the content they've created, which more or less is usually edited better than most of the content they'll ever make. Especially, like, I'm really surprised at this point that the ODST series I worked on I call it a series, but I've only ever worked on one episode. It got a content ID for using some of the music from the lead composer of Halo at the time, which wasn't really surprising to me because that guy is a composer and has his own licensed work anyway, so whatever on that part. But Halo, I never get audiovisual content ID for, just the music, because the composer is really weird. But
it's the music companies.
Yeah, I spend a lot of work on making content that showcases what makes video games so special, and it's really intriguing to me that a company would look at this and be like, "You did a lot of work on this. Can we take all the money from what you did with it and everything?" But that's why I became a nonprofit on my channel. It's just because, whatever, if they want to push away the fact that this is really well done content, and this sounds really egotistical, I'm sorry. If I want to make really good content on a game and they content ID it for money, then whatever, I'm not going to do anything about it as long as one day they recognize it and be like, could you do this for us at some point? It's like, fucking whatever, commission me. I'll do it.
I mean, I don't really find that acceptable, though, because the thing is they don't want to pay people, and artists always get this whole thing of like, oh, well, I'm going to give you publicity, and I'm like, publicity only does so much to the point where it's like, I still need to pay my bills, I still need to eat. If you're not willing to pay me for my work that is actually considered excellent, fucking pay me. Fuck you if you don't want my work.
I'm just a fucking pushover is the thing. Like, when I found out about the content ID system being really broken, I was just like, whatever, I'm gonna play whatever fucking games I want. If they want to content ID it, whatever. Eventually it'll pan out. But at the same time, I look back on the stuff that's been content ID'd, and I'm like, if I went for profit and I tried to get revenue from the videos I've created, then a lot of my content would just be null and void. There are videos that garner a lot of views that I couldn't possibly add revenue anymore because content ID. And if I try to apply for it, I'm too small of a channel to be like cared for. Like, I have 150 subs, that's going to do jack shit compared to the people who have 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, a million. I won't have as much attention as any other content creator out there, which is the sad thing. So I'm just here for the ride, I guess. That's why I moved over to Twitch streams, because I don't know, it's easier for me to make content over there and just push it onto YouTube later. If I get a content ID, fucking whatever, I'll just deal with it and go back to doing whatever I'm doing the next day. So that's all I really have to say on the matter. Is just, I really just stopped caring because I know it's an inevitability and I'm not going to be able to do anything about it because I'm too small of a channel to have any attention given to me. Which is why I'm trying to push the idea of trying to get this channel off and running, trying to get it as big as possible for the end of the year so that we might have a standing chance against content ID.
It's just like, it makes me mad because like it's like the artist never wins.
Yeah.
And at some point the artist should win because they create this stuff. And if they help make a company better, then yeah, pay them.
Yeah.
But I mean, pay them after they made the video, not before, with the whole Warner Brothers thing where they pay people to make a video. No, you pay them after they make the video
Yeah.
because bias.
Yeah. That's very true. Or at the very least, if your little commission payment isn't going to be jack shit compared to it, like if PewDiePie made a video on Shadow of Mordor because Warner Brothers is like, hey, can you make a video on this? Then I'm pretty certain the content revenue that he would get from that one video alone would be more than what they would have given him.
But like, if you pay them before, the expectation is that like you will say good things about it. And
Yeah.
if your game is shit, you know you should be allowed to say it's shit.
Yeah. I paid money to play a shit game, so I mean, I tore right into that motherfucker.
But I mean, like that's what like Jim Sterling is doing with his Patreon, and he kickstarted his own website with the Jimquisition, and he's great at it, and people like it. So I mean, I guess that's the like you just have to find a new way to make content and still be able to, I guess, live.
Yeah.
It's not fair, but it's if the law is going to take too much time to change, well, it's better than sitting on your ass and doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair. Jim's going through a lot, so it's really great that he's gaining a lot more positivity now. He's still a lot of toxicity. Like, he did a green light good stuff today, and the absolute toxicity and racism in his video was enough for him to actually disable comments for the first time in a long while. And, you know, the dude doesn't deserve it. He's being sued. So, I mean, more power to him. He's more tolerable than I can. I would have stopped YouTube in order to focus on this suing thing first, but motherfucker's still going. It's pretty commendable, I'd say.
Well, I mean, like, you just don't quit your job just because you're getting sued. You still have to pay the lawyers.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, like, I can assume that he is going through a lot of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him for being angry at all. But I do commend him on taking that and just putting it into content. Because, like, a favorite author of mine, Neil Gaiman, said, make good art. And part of the speech was that, you know, no matter what bullshit happens to you in life, make good art. And that's what I'm trying to do now. Because I'm dealing with my own load of bullshit. And I might as well put it into something I like.
Yeah.
And, like, try to do sewing again, sort of thing.
It's better to put your emotion into something you care about than into something you hate.
Because, like, that can help you. Like, art therapy is a real thing. Yeah. And it can really help. So I always advocate for that.
Yeah. I get it.
But, you know, sometimes we always just need to sit down and play video games like Persona 5, which has done some more character videos. Right. So they're starting to really ramp up for release next month in Japan, and we are waiting until February in North America.
Localization takes a while.
Yeah. They didn't really give them probably the script enough time beforehand.
Yeah. They probably finished the script really late into development.
No, they finished the script first. Like, that has to be done first.
That's true, yeah.
But they make changes throughout. So I'd say, like, when you're at 75% development, give it to the English localization.
Yeah.
And then they can start doing that, because that's going to take them a couple months. And then they can start doing, you know, the voices.
A couple of months is an understatement, because if you've seen the scripts, like, the script for some RPGs, some JRPGs, in particular I'm thinking about Dragon Quest 7 or 9, can't remember which one. Maybe Dragon Quest 8, now that I think about it. Whichever one's getting released on 3DS recently. But if you've seen the scripts for JRPGs of that size, then you're talking like a bookshelf's worth of like 300-page binders full of script.
I mean, at least 3 months we start the voice acting. What really takes the most time is the game testing.
Yeah.
So Q&A, well, yeah, because Q&A takes a while. Because, like, you have to keep testing it until you feel like there is no more bugs, like you can't possibly find anymore. And so you have to send that back to probably what is the Japan team.
Yeah.
Or a bunch of freelancers that they've hired in Japan. So they have to code everything. And then you have to send it back, feedback. So it's literally a nightmare in that sort of sense.
Yeah.
And then they have to drop, marketing has dropped like the promotion stuff. and then they have to then send out the plans for like the special editions, and they have to send that to the factory. They have to see samples to make sure that things are right, send that back, and get more until it's perfect, and then they have to make a huge batch.
Yeah.
And they gotta package it.
I had an argument recently with someone on stream where they think that developers are being lazy because they put out a game and wait for player feedback, and then before the game even comes out, they have a day one patch ready. I'm like, that's not lazy. That's them finishing the game, realizing that there's an issue with public code, especially with review copies coming out. Review copies probably have bugs in them that they didn't notice earlier because consumer consoles are different than developer consoles. And having a day one patch is actually a reassurance that the quality is going to be good, or at least better than what the intended product was going to be.
Well, they're involved in the community, so they know that they can't have that on day one. So they're good. They're good on fixing shit right away. The response is timely.
I have faith as well that Alice games are going to be more or less pretty clean. My curiosity comes from hoping that the game doesn't have any cosmetic DLC at launch, because that would be kind of a curiosity. And as we've seen from the spin-offs of Persona 4 games, like Persona 4 Dancing All Night and Persona 4 Arena, those games in particular have a lot of DLC for cosmetic items that are just tiny little pocket change things. And it would be really awkward to see that happen in an actual full release Persona game.
They may or may not. I don't know if
see if they would, but at the same time, I wouldn't want them to.
They probably will have costumes for the previous Persona characters, like the uniforms and whatnot from Persona 3 and Persona 4.
Yeah, like Gekonko or something. Gekonko High. Forgot the name already.
Like, I could see them having that, but I don't know if it would be already in the game or it's DLC.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to care if it's DLC, because if it's only like 99 cents for like a set of outfits, I'm like, it's not bad.
That's a fair point. I remember one DLC that was really curious. I was looking through the Persona 4 Dancing DLC at one point, and I was like, okay, $3 for color contacts so that you can change the eye color of any character in the game. I'm like, huh, okay. I
mean, like, it's there if you want it. If you don't want to pay for it, you don't have to.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be angry about it. I think that's somewhat reasonable.
Yeah. It's more or less for the content whales out there, which is the term used for people who purchase microtransacted content for games, either often or sometimes, occasionally is the word. I admit to being a whale. I've bought plenty of Overwatch loot boxes. I have a friend who's bought 140 Overwatch loot boxes, which is like $100.
I was gonna get the game, but that didn't happen.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah, fraud. It happens.
Soon, TM. I know the feeling of fraud.
Well, I'm waiting for the credit card to dispute the charge. So that's why you put things on credit cards.
Yeah. Yeah. I've dealt with fraud before. We got scammed on eBay at one point.
I think everyone's at least been scammed on eBay once, or Craigslist.
We've been scammed twice, actually. I knew, so I got scammed for trying to get an early Destiny PS4, like the Glacier White one, which I have now. But I tried to get it early on eBay, and by the time the console had come out, it was like 2 or 3 weeks after the fact. And I was just like, I have a problem with my distributor. He hasn't gotten the console yet. I'm just like, okay, can we get a refund? And eBay's just like, no, we can't really offer a refund because the transaction's been completed. It's like, what? All right. So we went to Best Buy and paid essentially twice for a PS4 console. for Destiny at launch as well. And on top of that, my dad, who's a mechanic, he fixed up cars at an auto shop, and he now is a mechanic for USPS trucks. And the worst thing is that he wanted to buy a. It sounds like your cat's sick.
No, she's just like she just woke up.
Oh, I see.
See, she sleeps partly through the morning, and then every time she wakes up from sleep, like, she wants to eat.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And also, she's just like she's crazy, so sometimes she just goes around the apartment meowing for no fucking reason.
That's true.
So
But
that's just her. But you know
yeah,
what? I'm gonna be moving on the 17th, so after that, she shouldn't really be in the podcast anymore. But I have to deal with a roommate, so
yeah.
because I have to share a bedroom with them, so this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they'll get the. I'm pretty sure they'll get the idea when they see the mic crane.
And then the webcam.
Yeah, they'll get an idea of what's going on.
And then like my giant tower and all
Yeah,
the consoles and
yeah, they'll get the idea.
yeah.
But yeah, my dad bought a car off of Craigslist, and the buyer said, "Oh yeah, it's I forget where he said it was. I forgot where he said it was locked up in, but I knew the moment that it was like the owner said that he didn't have access to the car right now, and he needed money to ship it from a container, and also needed the money up front in cash. I was just like, don't do it, don't do it. He did it, and we were out $12,000.
I mean, you just have to learn.
Yeah,
But
well,
the best thing to do is like if it's with a credit card, you can at least go to your credit card company, wherever it is, or your bank's credit
yeah,
card company, and just dispute it.
yeah,
Sometimes it's not as easy to dispute. Sometimes it takes longer,
yeah,
especially if you do it on the weekend.
yeah. The thing is I had a bad 2 years of online shopping. Like my family as a whole had a bad 2 years of online shopping. So the PS4 thing happened, and then the car thing happened, and then the next year, what happens? I get the wrong console version of the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy edition. I get a Xbox One version, even though I ordered the PS4 version, and I didn't own an Xbox One at the time. So it just wound up being an awful, awful 2 years for online shopping for me.
I
Like it
don't
was
get
bad
that.
enough that my mom was just like, can you just wait and then we can go buy it at the Walmart?" I'm like, no, no, please no. I don't wanna go back in there. I went back in there for a lamp and a shelf just for storage purposes. I have never gone back to the Walmart that I worked at.
I went back to my old workplace, and apparently I missed, but I don't miss that fucking place. Apparently it
Yeah.
got a lot worse after I left, and a bunch of people left with me.
I think I've already told this story before, but I went back to get the lamp that, it's for directional lighting for the blue screen as well for chroma keying. And
Hmm.
I also got one of those shitty Sterlite plastic storage shelf things. And I'm in the parking lot. And the moment I get out of the car, my old manager is right behind me. He's just like, "Oh, hey, I haven't seen you around for a while. How's it going, man?" I'm like, "Fine. Have you found a new job yet?" I'm like, "Yeah, I found a place that I might work up in Eugene." And then he just stopped talking to me at all. And it was like 85-degree weather. I look, and I was a cart pusher. Um, I was a cart pusher for 2 months. And I got fired for taking too many sick days because apparently taking more than 4 sick days is enough to be terminated. So fucking whatever. I don't know. Which is, by the way, against regulation. 40 hours of sick leave is supposed to be what we get, but I only got 32 or something like that before I
I
got
mean,
fired.
you could have taken it to the union, but
I didn't sign up to be union, so
I was required to be in the union.
yeah. They actually, I remember my training, and they said if you see a union worker, do not sign your paper. Do not ask them. Do not sign anything that they give you, because those are the things that basically they say they'll do what they want with your signature at that point. I'm like,
That
whatever.
that's some bullshit, but I
Yeah,
don't know about Oregon laws and unions. I'm with California, so
we don't have a union here, like locally in our county. Like, There's a union up in the upper counties near the capital, the state capital, but we don't have a union in Lane County. As far as I know, I haven't been contacted by a union, so I guess it's not that relevant here. But I checked the carts, and there's no carts backed up. And I walk in, I check the carts. There's a decent amount in there, you know, uh, probably 3/4 full in the cart area. I go in, get my lamp, get my stuff. I didn't take a cart, by the way, because I know how terrible it is to grab carts from the fucking parking lot. So whenever I go into Walmart, I don't take a cart. I hand carried a giant three tall bookshelf, like a 3 shelf tall storage unit, and the lamp. I took it all by hand, put it on the counter, scanned it, went out. I even carried a bag of kettle corn that was being sold on the sidewalk. Just like carried it all by hand. I start walking to my car, and who do I see? A dude in his 80s working alone, bringing carts back to the cart area. They are by law supposed to have at least 2 people working the shift, and
Yeah,
there's only one person who is older than anybody I've ever seen work at Walmart, pushing fucking carts.
Yeah, Walmart doesn't give a fuck. Actually,
I
in
know.
general, retail doesn't give a fuck about, your life.
I know. It's so, like, I remember the day I got fired from Walmart, and I was in there. I was in there. My manager, who was signing my check, asked me to spell 3, the number, like the word 3, as in the number, for, like the spelling of the number. And then, even though I spelled it correctly, he misspelled dollars. He spelled it with an E, not an A.
Honestly, you don't have to be smart to be in retail.
Yeah,
You really
that's true.
don't.
Apparently, I can have a 4th grade education and be a fucking manager. Go figure. And
At least in Oregon.
yeah, and I walk out, with my termination papers, my final check, and had a smile on my face. That's the end of that story. Even the dude I worked with was happy about it. Fucking A.
So, we are back after technical issues like internet problems. So, yay, technology fails again.
Technology wins, humans fail.
So,
Lex
for
wins.
PlayStation Plus for August, we have Rebel Galaxy P for PS4, Tricky Towers for PS4, Ultron for PS4, PS3, PS Vita, Retro/Great for PS3, Yakuza 5 for PS3, and Patapon 3 for PSP and PS Vita. So yeah.
Yeah.
Free if you have PlayStation Plus.
Yeah. For this week, up until August 9th, there's a QuakeCon sale going on. You can pick up the new Doom for half off, Fallout 4 Season Pass for $10 off its retail price, along with most of the DLC for 25% off. This also applies to the Fallout New Vegas DLC, the Elder Scrolls V Dragonborn DLC. All of the Dishonored DLC is also on sale. Doom 3 BFG Edition is on sale. The Doom Classic Complete, which is Doom 1 and 2 with all of its episodes, is half off. And it looks like you can also get all the Fallout 3 DLC. You can also get The Evil Within, Wolfenstein: The New Order, Wolfenstein: The Old Order, Wolfenstein 3D. The currency for the Elder Scrolls Online is also on sale. There's DLC and Rage on sale as well. So if you have any interest in a bunch of Bethesda games, then go check that out because there's plenty of their titles on sale. I would recommend Doom 2016. You can't go wrong with getting the content, the Elder Scrolls Skyrim DLC or the Fallout 4 DLC if you really want it. All the Fallout 3 DLC is fantastic. So go pick it up if you want it.
Or if you need something to play in between the VR launch in October, which leads to a very important piece of information you need to know for PlayStation VR. You will need 60 square feet to actually get it to work properly, and you cannot necessarily move from where you're sitting. So this is kind of a big deal if you're like me with a small apartment bedroom and don't really have a lot of room for that. If you thought you were just going to sit in front of maybe your desk with your PS4 hooked up to a TV, and you're just going to do that, I can't really do that. I actually need to be sitting in a decent enough space.
I don't think my back room is 60 square feet. It's like, this is my workspace. My arm span is my workspace.
So this is where I'm kind of like, this doesn't really
Does this mean I have to
work
play
with
my
me.
PS4 in my living room all the time? Oh, God.
You might need to for PlayStation VR. So
No. No. Aw. I was all
it's
ready for the future.
but that's the thing though, is if you look at like other VR headsets, you still need a certain amount of space.
Yeah. There are some games that I've seen that really only give you camera control with the VR headset. Like I saw Edge of Nowhere recently, which it looks really good. But I think those are the games that I would benefit from the most with VR.
I'm like waiting for the 2018 releases, but the thing is like by the time it's
when
2018,
VR has optimized, right?
I should be graduating
And you
and
should have a bigger. Okay, yeah, I got you.
should have I shouldn't be living in university apartment, so I should have theoretically a bigger place. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it says that you were recommended 60 square feet, but at the same time,
I
I
mean,
think
like
that's just for safety purposes.
yeah, but like my thing is that if you don't have enough space, you expect problems.
Yeah, I know that. I know that feeling as well. I think I think they had that same space requirement back when they revealed that you could play some PS3 games with the 3D glasses on Sony 3D TVs. Um,
That was a
back
thing.
Yeah, Sony. That was like the big deal with. They announced the PlayStation Move, Sony 3D TVs, which coincidentally was the first. Resistance 3 was the first game to support both. Resistance 3 was a PlayStation Move launch title, and it had 3D TV support. So two people could wear the 3D glasses, and each of them had their own perspective. So it was split screen on the TV, but each pair of glasses had the player's perspective solo on it.
Holy shit! Just no.
Yeah. Every time, I know I'm talking way too loudly because I see in the top right corner, you adjusted my audio level. Like, sorry.
I have to do this in post production anyways. I mean, like whatever.
There's not even coffee in this cup. Just a visual gag.
That's what my male tears mug is for.
Mine says Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Well, I have a web series that I would do with it, but I haven't really written anything down. And I've gone. Some people, I've told them about it. They've been like, "Oh, that's a great idea." Some people are like, "No." I was like, I don't know. Apparently, to get famous on the internet, you have to say ridiculous bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, like, I could make a pilot episode. We'll see, but that's something completely different.
Yeah.
But it is a possibility.
Yeah. I understand when stuff like that happens. It's just a curiosity of mine. Uh, I've had to balance my own audio before. I had to splice together 3 different recordings into one video, and I cut out like an hour of footage. So I know the feeling when content just doesn't want to work for you. Honestly, just one of those things where I know the pain of having to edit my own shit. So I feel really bad for you having to edit my shit.
I'll get through it.
At least I didn't. At least I'm not drunk.
Drunk podcasts are okay when it's meant to be a drunk podcast. How about that?
Yep. Don't worry, we'll get this thing right eventually.
Eventually. No, it's It's more like Arms is usually the one who does the hosting and things are fine. And last like 2 weeks ago was fine. Now this week it's like, no, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna fail on you.
The one time you put faith in him.
You had one job, bitch. Why didn't you do it?
You had one job and you fucked it up. I knew I was in a. I keep talking about this. I knew I was in a bad recording. I knew I was in a recording that was bound to fail when the entire camera for Kel was dark and there were 2 liquor bottles in the front of the camera. I was like, oh no, I'm in this podcast.
And Armando didn't tell you about it.
No. He was just like, actually, we can record it. He was just like, okay, we're going to record tomorrow at like 9 a.m. or something. Or tomorrow at like 9 a.m. or something. And I was just like, okay. And then he sent me a notification that was just like, actually, we can record it tonight if you're up for it. I'm like, sure. I was like, okay, who'd he get? Connor? And then I was in the call alone with him, and he was just like, oh, yeah, waiting for Kel. He said he's going to need like a half hour. An hour passes. An hour passes. And then he comes onto the call just like, hey, how's it going? I'm ready if you are. I'm like, oh, shit, he's been drinking.
Yeah, I think it was either Connor or Noah who was supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And then like I kind of, when I heard that he was doing it at night, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I get the recording and I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. You could tell by the last 15 minutes of the podcast, I'm like dead inside. I just want it to be over.
Yeah, you're just like not comfortable at all.
Yeah. I'm just like, I really gotta go do something other than this. Like, I actually, I think Arms is doing the video editing for the Blaze Kick podcast, and I don't remember who does the editing for the Blaze Kick podcast, but he's gonna have a field day when he realizes that we actually spent 30 minutes talking about food.
Oh no, you should not do that around me because I'll just make you hungry. I've done this to like 2.
Hungry.
No, I've done this to like 3 professors, and they were all fucking mad at me, and I was like, haha. So, well, because it was like one time it was like food that was like they had never heard of or seen, but just by my description, they're like, I want this, and I was like, excellent.
Give me an A grade, and I'll get it for you.
Like I was told I should be like a food blogger, and I was like, well, I kind of need photos, so I considered.
We jokingly said that we were going to add a new series on Blaze Kick called Blaze Kick Eats.
Honestly, I would totally do that.
I would do it too. I know how to cook food. We want to do a food podcast.
We're gonna make mega takoyaki.
Oh yeah, you showed me that. I was just like, do you know how to make takoyaki?
I actually I tried once in high school. I want to try again because I think I understand how to.
Takoyaki maker.
So I found a takoyaki maker, an electric one, but it's a mega one. So it's like 5 takoyaki balls, but it's like the size of a softball essentially.
Yeah, like that big.
Yeah. So it's like 5 of them at one time. And I understand that concept a lot more now. I just haven't tried it because I don't have the fucking pan.
Yeah.
And they won't give me my apartment number until I go check in for move-in day. So I can't actually really have it shipped here.
Yeah. That's fair.
But yeah, I could do a cooking series. Like we could do cinematography like BuzzFeed. I have a tripod set up for my iPhone, which we could do because I have the nicest camera so far in the iPhones. We would. I don't think we would.
I have a camera tripod and a 1080p camera, so I could do it.
Otherwise, I have my DSLR, but that doesn't take video. It's too old.
Mine's a DSLR camera that records up to 10 minutes of footage at a time.
Well, I have a Nikon D3000, which is old. Doesn't really do video.
Check what my camera is if you want me to.
No, that's okay. Like, I think I can do it off the iPhone. It's just like,
Yeah, that's fair.
I wouldn't do sound. Like, I
Finally, a
probably
use for the slow-mo. Slow food porn stir.
do that with cheese,
Oh yeah,
eggs.
yeah. I can make the hell out of some chicken Alfredo.
Like, move to California and we'll do this.
This is happening. Arms. Make the thumbnail. This is fucking happening.
And would you also like to plug in your new project?
Yeah. Starting August 9th, Blazekick's going where millions of people are going. Actually, now that I think about it, every day for the next week, starting August 9th, Blazekick Live's coming back, doing daily No Man's Sky streams for a week just to test the waters, see what happens. Going August 9th to August 16th, 2 p.m. Pacific time to 5 p.m. Anyone who has No Man's Sky can feel free to join us on this journey, because odds are, with such a large world, we will likely never meet in game, and it's going to be a journey that I think everyone needs to experience.
My brother will be getting No Man's Sky, so I could maybe hop in on his game. But I'm also in the process of moving, so I don't know if I'll be able to hop in that
Yeah.
week.
Any Blazekick member who is going to get the game, I'm going to get into contact with them so that they can stream it from their PS4, and we'll try to set up a multi-Twitch so that you can experience all of our perspectives collectively at once, so that we can all experience the wonderful world together. Which I think is going to be a really good thing to show, is everyone's journey at once. But
You know what I probably want to get like an audio splitter so that my cat headphones can actually work with my PC.
yeah, it's going to be something that I think is going to be very important, is showing a lot of people's perspectives at once for No Man's Sky. So getting in on the opportunity for No Man's Sky with Blazekick Live is going to be a big deal. Yeah.
I'll hop in if I can. If I can't, you'll know why.
Yeah, I'll know why. You're moving. That's understandable. That's why I've been streaming daily, is just to get ready. And even then, I'm not going to stop streaming daily. Like, it's going to be a thing I want to do. I want to be a streamer, so.
I'll see how my school schedule works. Because I have most of it. It's just I don't know when I'm going to be doing certain things.
Yeah.
I just know my first class is at noon, and that is it.
Yeah. So that's going to be the big one. August 9th, 2 p.m. is when we start up. It might not even be 2 p.m. because I'm getting it shipped to me, so it's probably going to be a little bit later. But I'll still stream 3 hours of No Man's Sky at a time. We'll explore plenty planets. Pretty excited. I got to start working on the lower thirds for it, because
No
Man's Sky has a very specific UI.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun keyframing that.
Yeah, at least I have the chroma key ready.
I don't do chroma key, but that's just because of my setup. If you couldn't tell.
Yeah, don't worry. Behind here's a half bathroom. We can't use it anymore because this is stapled the door shut.
Well,
in all reality, I actually made sure to staple it so that you could open the door, but there's a pin that keeps the sheet here. But chroma keying works fine. I actually finally got it down. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. Mighty number 9.
Well, I won't be able to chroma key it. Like, I can't do a screen because of the way they have the room set up.
Yeah.
At least from the floor plan.
I understand. This is just one of those things that was a circumstantial thing. Like, I knew I could do this, but I didn't. I wanted to get a green screen, but I just had a random blue bed sheet, so I was just like, fuck it.
And some people just have like a total like plain sheet of one color, and that works. You just gotta remember not to wear that color shirt.
Yeah.
So usually green is not something people wear.
Yeah, I have this. that I use for playing games blindfolded. Half my head disappears when I use this, so it's kind of awkward. But yeah, I'll have this set up. I'll try to get lower thirds ready because the No Man's Sky UI is very simplistic, and I actually really love simple UI like that. So I'll be able to make lower thirds very pretty easily. Yeah.
So that's going on,
Yeah.
and we'll work on that food series.
Yeah. Coming. If you really want to see us do a Blaze Kick series on food, send the hashtag BlazeKickEats to BlazeKick tweet, and we'll see what we can do. I can make some Mondo delicious chicken Alfredo, and that's all I can make.
I can make a shit ton of things.
I can make egg salad, I guess.
Pizza.
I can make a frozen pizza.
I can make fresh pizza. And
I can make some stuff. I know how to make food.
A lot of Japanese cuisine.
Oh,
I know how to do.
I tried to make beef yakisoba at one point, but it didn't come out right. The beef tasted much like beef, so.
It depends. Like,
yeah,
a lot of times Japanese requires very thinly sliced beef, which is
no. I got very specifically thinly sliced beef, but it just didn't come out right because I didn't get the sauce. I didn't. I guess I didn't marinate it. I guess I didn't marinate the meat long enough because it still tasted like beef. So.
Yeah, you have to marinate. Like, to get the most flavor from the marinade, you have to marinate for like over a day.
Yeah, I didn't get the marinade right then, but it still came out all right. It still tasted like food, so I mean, it's a success on my part, but I just didn't do it right, I guess.
But hey, also if you're interested in making this a thing and another video series, you can get on Patreon for $5.
Yeah.
So our Patreon page is patreon.com/blazekick, and pretty much like being a YouTuber, doing anything else with entertainment is a two-way road. So you pay us, we make more content, and for $1, you get the podcast a day early.
Yeah.
And then for $5, you get our video series a day early as well.
Yeah. I think the way that the website is going right now, we're slowly transferring into a content-based thing instead of a news-based website. I'm gonna have to talk with Arms and everybody about it just to see how we feel about possibly focusing on making content instead of just focusing on news. I think we have enough active people to kind of bring it forward. I think we're gonna have to kick a couple people in gear.
Yeah.
I know school is a very important thing for everyone, especially you, being in college. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
I'm a creative writing major, and apparently there's a computer science minor or a computer science programming minor. So I have to decide which one because one's more theoretical, one's more practical in terms of like I'm learning everything through programming, but different things like Java. Yeah. So I have to pick for that one. But for now, I have to get out my language requirement and 2 more GEs.
Yeah.
That I can just focus on my major work. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the honors because that's like a semester.
Yeah. I want to be a game designer, so I have yet to get into a college for that, but
if you move down to California and you happen to come to LA, I recommend Santa Monica College because now we have an entertainment technology department. So it's pretty much, and it's recognized as students can go for gaming.
How far is LA from Marysville? That's like a 2-hour drive, I think, right?
LA from Oregon?
Marysville.
Marysville, Oregon, or Marysville, California?
California. There's no Marysville here.
I don't know because I haven't heard of a Marysville in California. Let me go to Google Maps.
I think Beale Air Force Base is nearby. Because I would be interested, but I don't know anybody in California besides you and my sister. and my sister lives in Marysville.
Yuba City.
Yeah, Yuba City's very nearby. It's like within 5 minutes of Yuba.
Oh, that's way up in, but that's north of Sacramento. Holy shit. That's nowhere close.
That's like a 4-hour drive, isn't it?
No, that's like a 10-hour drive.
To LA? Oh, God. All right.
Holy shit, you're gonna have to move down here.
Yeah. I'd have to move and stay there, yeah. There's an art institute here in Portland that's like a 2-hour drive away, so it wouldn't be very far. But there's an art institute that has a game design course. And it's like you either become after like a 2-year course, you're teamed up with a programmer, an artist, and a designer, and you all collaborate on a game.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Yeah, I couldn't go because I had a really low GPA from my high school. I graduated with a 2.1 GPA because my teachers sucked. Just the largest of donkey dicks, and it's really hard to understand. But all of my teachers at one point or another were coaches.
So they're not really teachers.
My language arts teacher was the football coach. My math teacher was also a football coach, I think. My business teacher, and also my senior art, and also my senior class teacher was a basketball coach. So yeah, all of my teachers were coaches, so they sucked dick at their jobs. And it was kind of bad because, as you know, I barely graduated high school. I consider myself a moderately intelligent human being. I can function in normal society sometimes. So I had to wait like 3 years for my GPA to no longer matter in order for me to apply for the art institutes. And even then, I'd have to move there, so it would be kind of rough for me.
I mean, it's your decision.
Yeah, I'd want to take that course at the very least.
Yeah, because like you don't necessarily need a degree for the arts, but it's a lot more helpful if you start at least going to classes. It doesn't matter if it's writing, programming, Photoshop, because if you don't have a degree, you have to have an outstanding portfolio. And not everybody, if you don't know where to start with the portfolio, then you really should at least take a class.
Yeah. I have plenty of game ideas, but I just don't know where to start because I'm not a very good programmer. I don't know how to use development programs, honestly. But
so that's where the Art Institute would help.
Yeah, that's why I would want to go to the Art Institute. It's just to learn. It's really weird how all of our conversations and the end of our podcast wind up talking about school.
Because me and Armando, our lives are primarily school at the moment. I'm not going to graduate for 2 years for my undergrad. And then I still have to go to grad for a year for a certificate. Not necessarily for a master's. So it's just the way the economy is now in America, particularly in California, because of the high living standard. You have to have a degree if you want to get like decent money.
Yeah, I understand it. Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's better than being like a cashier and dealing with pieces of shit every day.
Yeah.
I can't imagine working in Beverly Hills or Hollywood. Or Orange County, for that matter. Like, holy shit, no. Fuck those people.
Yeah. I just don't think I want to deal with people, which is why I want to make a workspace here. I'm comfortable here.
See, that's why we're doing this, though.
Yeah. That's why we're trying to make this popular, so we don't have to deal with the assholes.
At least not like
we don't have to physically deal with the assholes.
No, we can just disable comments on the internet, and that'll be something.
No, we can just delete comments, block comments that are negative, or non-constructive comments.
But you know what? We also have a website, blazekick.com.
Yeah. Put your hopefully constructive criticism there.
Yeah, because that's where we want it. We want those views there, not necessarily on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, but we do have a YouTube channel for those of you who just prefer everything to be on YouTube. It's youtube.com/user/blazecakemedia. And then for our Twitter, it is it's twitter.com/blazekick_tweet. My Twitter handle is @demon_sorceress. And what's yours, Tyler?
I'm at ReplayTieHeretic.
All right, as we have pretty much that for our week's podcast. Sorry that Sony did fuck all and Pokemon's taking over the internet, but that's out of our hands. So maybe that one out we make this weekly. If we don't get it, we need to talk about that. But thank you for joining us today anyway. And to all of our patrons on Patreon, thank you for supporting us. We appreciate your help. And if you have money to support us on Patreon, we do appreciate it. It'll help us create more content for you guys to enjoy. So remember, it's two-way street.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Later.